Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters, welcome to our weekly class and explanation of Al-Muqaddimah Al-Ajurrimiyyah, Al-Tuhfah Al-Sanniyyah by Sheikh Muhammad Muhyiddin Abdul Hamid rahimahullah. And last week we started talking about the last of the tawabi', which is al-badal, and we spoke about al-badal, and about the rulings of badal, al-badalu wa hukmuhu. And today inshallah we will finish talking about al-badal by speaking about anwa'ul badal, the different types of badal. So let's share the screen. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can see the screen there, the book. So last week we took this al-badalu wa hukmuhu, and today inshallah we will start with anwa'ul badal, the different types of badal. So let's see first what the author Ibn Ājurrum rahimahullah he says, wa huwa ala arba'ati aqsamin, and al-badal is of 4 types. Badalu shay' min ash-shay', this is the first one. I will explain them later on inshallah. Wa badalu al-ba'di min al-kulli, this is the second one. The next one, wa badalu al-ishtimali. The next one, badal al-ghalat. And then he gives examples, nahwu qawlika, if you were to say qama zaydun akhuka, yani Zayd, your brother, stood up. Wa akaltu ar-raghifa thuluthahu, ar-raghif yani khubz, bread. I ate the bread, a third of it. Wa nafa'ani zaydun ilmuhu, I attained benefit from Zayd, his knowledge. Wa ra'aytu Zaydan al-farasa, and I saw Zayd, the horse. So now he's talking about this part here. Wa ra'aytu Zaydan al-farasa, I saw Zayd, the horse. I saw Zayd, the horse. Aratta an taqul faras, you wanted to say faras. Faghalitta, but you made a mistake. Fa'abdalta Zaydan minhu, and instead you said, and you replaced it with Zayd. You said Zayd instead of al-faras. Obviously, so this one here, qama zaydun akhuka, this one is referring to badalu shay' min ash-shay'. Wa akaltu ar-raghifa thuluthahu, this is referring to badalu al-ba'di min al-kull. Wa nafa'ani zaydun ilmuhu, this is referring to badalu al-ishtimal. Wa ra'aytu zaydan farasa, this is referring to badalu al-ghalat. And then he goes on to talk about badal al-ghalat. this particular example, that you wanted to say al-faras, you want to say I saw the horse, but instead you ended up saying I saw Zaid instead of the horse. So you made a mistake. Okay, so that's that is the statement of the author rahimahullah. So now we're going to inshallah break it down step by step. So here وأقول, this of course is Sheikh Muhammad Muhyiddin rahimahullah, the Sharih. He says وأقول البدل على أربعة أنواع. Badal is of 4 types. النوع الأول, let's look at the first type, nice and easy, this one. بدل الكل من الكل. بدل الكل من الكل. يعني the full complete substitution, you can say. Yani substitution of the whole for the whole. Substitution of the complete for the complete. Badal al-kull min al-kull. You are substituting a whole complete thing for a whole complete thing. وَيُسَمَّى الْبَدَلَ الْمُطَابِقَ. And this badal has another name, and it has 3 names. What the author mentioned here, badalu shay min al-shay, yani replacing one thing for another thing. Yes, or badal al-kull min al-kull. Yani replacing the whole, the complete thing for the whole complete thing. وَيُسَمَّى الْبَدَلْ الْمُطَابِق. It's also called al-badal al-mutabiq. Al-mutabiq means yani exact, identical substitution. That's what al-mutabiq, that's what it means. That the badal is in total agreement and conformity with that which it is replacing or substituting. Yani they are both mutabiq, yani they are both identical. So it's called the exact or identical replacement or substitution. So these are just different names, yes? So here what are you doing? Here the badal, which is a substitute, yes, it matches exactly what it replaces. All right. So in fact, they are both referring to the same thing. So badal al-kull min al-kull or badal al-shay min al-shay or al-badal al-mutabiq, it is when al-badal and al-mubdalu minhu. Al-badal is the new one, the substitute, the replacement. And al-mubdal minh, that which is being replaced and substituted. When these two are exactly the same thing, yes, they are one and the same thing. That is called badal al-kull min al-kull. And that's what it says here, وَضَابِطُهُ, and the rule which governs this type of badal is what? أَنْ يَكُونَ الْبَدَلُ عَيْنَ الْمُبْدَلِ مِنْهُ. That badal is exactly is identical to the mubdal minhu. Nahwu zarani Muhammadun ammuka. Muhammad, your uncle, visited me. Of course, here Muhammad and his uncle, they're the same person. So you're replacing one complete full thing for another complete full thing. Yes. Muhammad, your uncle, visited me. And of course, ammuka, this is the badal, and Muhammad is al-mubdalu minhu. واضح? Okay. That should be pretty straightforward. The next type is النوع الثاني بدل البعد من الكل. Think about it, easy. Yes, and you could call it partitive substitution. Partitive from the word part. Yes, so this is substitution of the part for the whole. Yes, if you want to, these, I mean, I don't really like using all this English terminology when I'm teaching Nahu, but it is what it is. So that's what it is. If in English you want the exact definition, is substitution of the part for the whole. So basically you are replacing the whole with a part of that whole. Simple. وضابطه, and what is the rule for this? أن يكون البدل جزءا من المبدل منه, that the badal be a part of the mubdal minhu. Easy. سواء كان أقل من الباقي, whether that be that the badal is less than what remains, yani less than the mubdal minh, and is part of it. In the badal is part of the mubdal minh. Mubdal minh is the complete full thing. Al badal is part of that. Juz, ba'd, that's why it says ba'd, juz. But this ba'd or this juz, this part, which is the badal, it can be less than the mubdal minh. Musawiyan lahu, or it can be same as it, yani half. Akthara minhu, or it can be more than it. Yani the badal in quantity or in number can be more than what is remaining, yani the mubdal minhu. For example, hafidhul Qur'ana thuluthahu. Hafidhul Qur'ana thuluthahu. Okay, which means what? Which means I memorized the Quran, a third of it. I memorized the Quran, a third of it. That means this is less than what is remaining. Yani here, Al-Quran is al-mubdalu minhu, and thuluth is the badal. So you're saying I memorized the Quran, a third of it. That means what is remaining from the Quran, the mubdal min, is more. And 2/3 are remaining. Or you can say nisfahu, for example, you can say hafidhul Qur'ana nisfahu. I memorized the Quran, half of it. Then here is the same. The badal and the mubdal min same, half, half. Or thuluthayhi, yani hafidhul Qur'ana thuluthayhi. I have memorized the Quran 2/3 of it. So now the badal is greater than the mubdal min. It can be this, this or that, no problem. The point is that the badal is part of the mubdal min. It's not the complete of it, it's not the full of it, it's not the whole of it, like badal kul min al kul. No. It's just a part of it. And this part can be same, more or less. But here, important point, وَيَجِبُ فِي هَذَا النَّوْعِ. But what is must in this type of badal? أن يضاف إلى ضمير عائد إلى المبدل منه كما رأيت. That the badal has to be mudaf to a dhamir which goes back to the mubdal min. كما رأيت, like you saw in this example. Look here. حفظت القرآن ثلثه. Thuluth is the badal. It is mudaf to a dhamir, who. And this who goes back to the mubdal min, which is the Quran. Okay, we're going to do two i'rabs. We're going to come back to them. This one i'rab we want to do. After the next category, I'll come back to the i'rab, this, because I want you to do these two i'rabs. This is one of them. It's nice and easy. And the other one we're going to do is this one here. But that's after I finish talking about this category. So let's look at it. النوع الثالث, the third category. نعم. طيب. بدل الاشتمال. بدل الاشتمال means the inclusive substitution. Why is it called بدل الاشتمال? Because the mubdal minhu, the first noun, it actually includes the meaning of the badal. Yani the badal, the meaning of the badal, it is included in the mubdal min. It is found in the mubdal min. So yani the badal, sorry, the mubdal min, the first noun, it comprises of the meaning of the badal. That's what's called ishtimal. Yani ishtimal means yashmal, to include. That's why it's called inclusive. Include, contain. Yes. So badal ishtimal is basically yani badal is not the same thing as the mubdal minhu, which is badal kul min al kul. Badal is not part of the mubdal minhu, which is badalul ba'd min al kul. But badal al-ishtimal, yani there is a connection and a relationship between the two. There is some kind of association. Yes. So the badal here, which is the substitute or the replacement, it refers to something that is related to or contained in or associated with the original noun. Yes, so the original noun, which is the mubdal min, it contains the meaning of its substitute, which is the badal. So there's some kind of connection, or it is contained within it. Huh? Okay, so that's badal ishtimal. ضابطه, the rule for this one is what? أن يكون بين البدل والمبدل منه ارتباط. That there be between the badal and the mubdal min irtibat, some kind of connection, association. But what? بغير الكلية والجزئية. But this relationship should not be one of kulliya, like badal kull min al kull. It should be a relationship where the badal is the same as the mubdal min. No, it cannot be that kind of connection. Juz'iyya, it cannot be badal, it cannot be the same relationship as badal ba'd min al kull, yani juz. The badal cannot be juz of mubdal min. This kind of irtibat, connection, is not what is intended here. Because if that's what's intended, then it becomes badal kull min al kull, badal ba'd min al kull. So it's a different type of irtibat. That's why it says أن يكون بين البدل والمبدل منه ارتباط بغير الكلية والجزئية. Irtibat, connection which is not a connection of kulliya wal juz'iyya, like badal kull min al kull or badal ba'd min al kull. Okay. ويجب فيه, also the same rule applies here about the damir. ويجب فيه إضافة البدل. Also we must do إضافة البدل here إلى ضمير عائد إلى المبدل منه أيضا also. Yes, same as the one بدل بعد من الكل. That here also the badal should be mudaf to a damir which returns back to the mubdal minhu. For example, أعجبتني الجارية حديثها. الجارية, a young girl. He says, I am impressed, or I was impressed by the young girl, حديثها, her speech. Yes? I was impressed by the young girl, her speech. So you can see here, Al-Jariya is al-Mubdal minh. Hadith is al-Badal. And the Badal here is mudaf to a damir, ha, which goes back to Al-Jariya. And you can see, of course, yani hadith, yes, is hadith of a girl same as the girl? No. Yani someone's speech, is it exactly the same as someone himself? No. So it cannot be badal kull min al kull. Is hadith a part of the girl? Yani part here we mean physical parts. Physical, like a limb, a hand, a foot, a leg, bones, meat, flesh, head. No. But hadith is something which there is a connection between the girl and her speech, of course, because the girl, she comprises of her speech. Also another example here, وَنَفَعَنِي الْأُسْتَاذُ حُسْنُ أَخْلَاقِهِ. The ustad, the teacher, benefited me. His akhlaq, his good akhlaq. The teacher benefited me, his good akhlaq. So al-ustad is the al-mubdal minh. Husnu akhlaqihi, this together is the badal. And of course the badal is mudaf to ha, a damir, which goes back to ustad. Of course, good manners There's a connection between the good manners and the Ustadh. The Ustadh, he has these good manners. They are, they are within him. They are included inside him. So that is badal al-ishtimal. So these are three types of badal. The last type. Okay, before we do the last type, let's take a 5-minute i'rab break. Let's do these two i'rabs. First one, hafidtul Qur'ana thuluthahu, should be nice and easy. Naam. Okay, so who would like to do the i'rab of that? Anybody would like to have a go? Hafidtul Qur'ana thuluthahu. No? Hafidha. So hafidtu should be extremely easy, yes? Okay, Ilyas would like to have a go. That's good. Okay, Ilyas, try speaking. It should be working. Yep, can't hear you at the moment. Yes, Ilyas, do you want to have a go? Okay, try speaking now. Can anyone else hear Ilyas? Is the problem from my end? No, nobody can hear him. Okay, let's just go ahead and do it then. Where's it gone? So hafidha, hafidtu, this is something you'll be doing for months. فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله بضمير رفع متحرك والتاء ضمير متصل مبني على الضم في محل رفع فاعل القرآن easy مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة ظاهرة على آخره ثلثه ثلث بدل من ماذا؟ من القرآن منصوب مثله وعلامة نصبه فتحة على آخره وهو مضاف والهاء ضمير متصل مبني الضم في محل جر مضاف إليه. نعم. That's the i'rab of that. Okay, the next one wanted to do, where is it? أعجبتني الجارية. This is very, very similar to the i'rab we did last week. At least the first part of it. I think maybe all of it. أعجبتني الجارية حديثها. أعجب. Okay, anyone want to have a go? Okay, Ilyas wants to try again. Let's see if it's working this time. Okay, Bismillah, try. I can't hear you, Ilyas. Maybe I hope the problem is not from my end. Unmute yourself. Strange. Not sure why not. So I've allowed the mic. Disable mic. Allow mic. Try one more time. If it doesn't work, no problem. Nope, I don't think it's working. Okay. So أعجبتني الجارية. This should be very, very easy, yeah? I mean, it's all easy. أعجب فعل ماض مبني على فتح. And the ta is تاء التأنيث الساكنة. نون الوقاية مبني كسري لا محل له من الإعراب ولا عمل. والياء ضمير متصل مبني السكون في محل نصب مفعول به. الجارية فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه ضم ظاهرة على آخره. فاعل مرفوع وعلامة ضم على آخره. حديث. This is the بدل من الجارية. بدل من الجارية. And as we mentioned last week, the badal is going to have the same i'rab as mubdal min. بدل من الجارية مرفوع مثله. They are both مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة ظاهرة إلى آخره وهو مضاف. ها ضمير متصل مبني على السكون في محل جر مضاف إليه. نعم. Okay. Okay, what's the next one? Let's go to the next one. The last one. And this is a النوع الرابع بدل الغلط. It's called the بدل الغلط, the بدل of error, the بدل of mistake. وهذا النوع على ثلاثة أضرب. And this is of 3 types. The fourth type, بدل الغلط, can be further divided into 3 types. على ثلاثة أضرب. So listen very carefully. Yes. So here basically in the general sense, بدل الغلط, it means the badal, it comes to replace a word mubdal min which was said by mistake. The speaker didn't intend that word, he said it by mistake, and then immediately after he said the second word, the badal, to correct himself. For example, خذ الكتاب القلم. Take the book, the pen. And it happens, yes. Sometimes when you tell someone to do something, you make a mistake. You don't intend to say that. You intended something else, but because of a slip of the tongue, you end up saying that. So here, obviously, al-qalam is what was intended. He meant to say, take the pen. But instead he ended up saying, by mistake, slip of the tongue, take the book. And then he said, al-qalam. He said, khudh al-kitab al-qalam. Take the book, the pen. Take the book, the pen. So it's ghalat. He made a mistake by saying this. So the ghalat is al-kitab, which is al-mubdal minh. And qalam, which is the badal, is the correct one. Is what is intended. Okay, so that's badal al-ghalat, in the general sense. That the badal comes to replace a word that was said by ghalat, by mistake. And this actually is of three types. This is of three types. The first type is called badalul bada'. Badalul bada'. What does al-bada' mean? Al-bada' means when something comes clear to you, when something appears to you, when something becomes clear to you. It wasn't clear to you first, it didn't appear to you first, but now it does. Yes, that's badal al-bada'. So here, what you have to understand, badal al-bada'. Remember, I told you badal al-ghalat is three types. The first type is badal al-bada'. I'm just trying to explain this to you in simple ways before we look at the book. So badal al-bada', that's what the word al-bada' means. Now, you'll understand why it's called badal al-bada'. Because both are intended. The speaker, he really intended to say the first one, which is the mubdal minh. But then when he said it, it became clear to him that he also wanted to say something else, which is also intended. So both things are actually intended. It wasn't a mistake. Here, it wasn't a mistake. It's just that he mentioned the first thing, then it appeared to him. Then he had a change of mind, he reconsidered, and then he said the second thing, which he also intended. That's what's called al-bada'. It's from this word. Bada li and this fi'l madi. It appeared to me that I do this. So here I've mentioned something, then it appeared to me that I should also mention this. Yes. So for example, same example. It says خذ الكتاب والقلم. So he said this first. He didn't say take the book by mistake. No, he meant to say that. Take the book. Okay. Then it became clear to him, oh, I actually want to change my mind and say the pen. So he says, take the pen. خذ الكتاب. Take the book. Then he says al-qalam, the pen. Both were intended. He just had a change of mind. That's what happened. Okay, so that is the first type that is the first type of badalul ghalat. Okay, let's read what the author says, rahimahullah, here. He says, here it is, badalul bada'i. ضابطه, yani the rule governing this is what? أن تقصد شيئا فتقوله. You intend to say something and you say it. It's deliberate. ثم يظهر لك, then it becomes clear to you what? أن غيره أفضل منه. That something else is better than it. فَتَعْدِلَ إِلَيْهِ, then you go to that thing that you think is better, which is going to be the badal. So أن تقصد شيئا فتقول, you intend to say something and you say it. That's the mubdal min, the first noun or the first word. ثم يظهر لك, then it becomes clear to you أن غيره أفضل منه, that something else is better than this. فَتَعْدِلَ إِلَيْهِ, and you lean towards that, you change to that thing, the jadid, the new thing that you want to say. Like I gave the example, خُذِ القلم, خُذِ الكتاب, القلم. You wanted him to take the book, it became clear to you, no, better for him to take the pen, القلم. وَذَلِكَ كَمَا لَوْ قُلْتَ, here's another example actually, a good example. وَذَلِكَ كَمَا لَوْ قُلْتَ, and that is, for example, if you say, هَذِهِ الْجَارِيَةُ بَدْرٌ. هَذِهِ الْجَارِيَةُ بَدْرٌ. This jariya, here what you are doing is, you are jariya, young girl, badr, a full moon. You are likening the girl to a full moon. Yani she looks like she's basically a full moon. Yes? So you say, هَذِهِ الْجَارِيَةُ بَدْرٌ. This girl is a full moon. You say that, you intend to say that. So just like you're likening to Badr is a full moon, full of light, so is this girl. Yes, you're striking a parable, an example. ثم قلت بعد ذلك, then after that you change your mind. If you say Shamsun, meaning Hadil Jariyatu Shamsun, forget Badr. In fact, she's more illuminated than that. She's more full of light than the Badr. In fact, she's like the Shams. So you did intend to say Hadil Jariyatu Badrun. Then it appeared to you, became clear to you, no, hang on a minute, no, actually Shams. Hadil Jariyatu Badrun Shamsun. Hadil Jariyatu Badrun Shamsun. Like this, yeah? So that is the first type. The second one, so that's Badal al-Bada. The second one you can say it is Badal al-Ghalat. I know it's a bit weird, yes, because the whole category is called Badal al-Ghalat. Yes, but also from this type, from this, one of the types is also called Badal al-Ghalat. And that's the example I gave you actually. I already given you that example of Badal al-Ghalat. As I've mentioned, that here the second thing is what is intended. خُذِ الْكِتَابَ وَالْقَلَمَ, this was intended. But by ghalat, by mistake, slip of the tongue. And it happens all the time, yes, in everyday life it happens. Take the, oh no, not that. Take the, oh no, not that. Take the, that. Yes, happens all the time. Give me the water, no, the jug. For example, yeah. Give me the water, the jug. So here, what is intended is a qalam. By ghalat, by a slip of the tongue. You said al-kitab, so you said خذ الكتاب, you went to say al-qalam, but you said خذ الكتاب, then you immediately correct yourself, said al-qalam. Yani take the qalam. So that is badalul ghalat. Okay, and that's why let's read badalul ghalat. That's okay. This we're going to come back to this. Is I'll switch it around a bit here. Badalul ghalat. وضابطه, what's the principle of badal ghalat, the rule? أن تريد كلاما, you want to say something, فيسبق لسانك إلى غيره, but your tongue beats you to your tongue precedes you to another word. وبعد النطق, and after saying it, تعدل إلى ما أردت أولا, you say that which you initially wanted to say. So for example, like this, رأيت محمد الفرس, I saw Muhammad, the horse. What you intended to say was al-faras. You intended to say رأيت الفرس, I saw the horse. But instead you ended up, slip of the tongue, you ended up saying, I saw Muhammad, then you said the horse. You corrected yourself. I saw Muhammad, the horse. Then you saw the horse. So that's the second. The third one, badalun nisyan. Okay, what's that? That's the third one. Badalun nisyan. So badalun nisyan is actually very similar to badal ghalat. Again, here, only the second thing is intended. Only the second thing is intended, not the first. You don't intend to say the first. You didn't want to say the first. And the intention is that the focus is on the second thing. Same as the ghalat. What you really intended to say was the second thing. That's what is intended here. What is intended is the second thing, not the first thing. Okay, so then what's the difference between ghalat and nisyan? The difference is, this is the badal of forgetfulness. Temporary forgetfulness, yes? Absent-mindedness. When you are absent-minded, you are inattentive or you are distracted and you end up saying something. Okay, so here's a very subtle difference. Badal al-ghalat, the mistake is just in the tongue. It never crossed your mind. It never came to your heart or your mind. You never thought of it that you're going to say the first one. But in badal nisyan, you did. Yes. You assumed something to be true. You assumed something and then you said it. Okay. But then you realized that was wrong. And then you said the second thing to correct yourself. But in badal al-ghalat, no. It's just a slip of the tongue. So basically the difference here is badal al-ghalat, the mistake is in the tongue. And badal nisyan, the mistake is in the heart. Okay. Hope that is clear. Okay, so you made you had an intention to say something, you said it, you realized it was a mistake, and that this is not what I intended. You maybe you said it out of forgetfulness, you forgot. Okay, like for example, you say last weekend I went to Riyadh, Jeddah. Yes, Riyadh came to your mind. Okay, and it was in your heart. It wasn't just a slip of the tongue. You were actually thinking of Riyadh. But then as soon as you said it, you realize, actually, no, I actually went to Jeddah, and you forgot. Okay, so there's a subtle difference. Yes. Let's read what he says. It might become, inshallah, should become badal nisyan wa dhabituhu, and the rule is an tabniya kalamaka fil awwali ala dhannin. Yes, that you build your initial speech upon a dhan, upon some kind of thought or assumption. ثم تعلم خطأه. Then you realize that's a mistake. فَتَعْدِلَ عَنْهُ, and then you leave it. And you say something else. For example, كما لو رأيت شبحا من بعيد. شبح يعني الظل, a shadow. Like, for example, if you were to see a dhil, a shadow from far, فَظَنَنْتَهُ إِنسَانًا, and you think that's an insan. You've assumed that's an insan. فَقُلْتَ, so you say رَأَيْتُ إِنسَانًا. You say, I saw a man. I saw a human. I saw a person. ثُمَّ قَرُبَ مِنْكَ, but then this came closer to you. فَوَجَدْتَهُ فَرَسًا, and you saw that actually this is a horse. فَقُلْتَ, so you said farasan, a horse. So you say, I've seen a man, comes closer, a horse. It's not a slip of the tongue, is it? Yes, it's due to, absent-mindedness or temporary forgetfulness, or, being inattentive, not focused. And due to that, you thought that this is it, you assumed that this is it, you said it, but then you realize it's a mistake, and you change to that what you really meant, and that is faras. And in fact, you could potentially use one example to explain all three. Again, for example, if I have this خُذِ الْكِتَابَ وَالْقَلَمَ, if you intended to say both things, then you know that is badal bada. If you only intend to say the second one, and that was the second one is the maqsood. Yes. Okay, but so yeah, so if you intend to say both, then it's badal bada. But if you intend to say the second one, but the first one was just said by way of mistake, then it can be either what? One of the two. It can be ghalat, badal ghalat, or it can be badal nisyan. The intent is the second one, but the first one was said by mistake. Now, what's the difference? Ghalat is the problem is in the lisan, and here the problem is in the qalb. And you made a mistake just in the lisan. You never even thought of this word kitab. Nothing never came to your mind. You didn't assume anything. You didn't forget nothing. But here, no. It was something, you you thought about it, and and you said it, but you said it by mistake. Then it became clear to you that is a mistake, and then you corrected it. And that brings us to the end of al-badal. The next thing is, inshallah, alhamdulillah, we have now finished the al-marfu'at. So al-marfu'at are done. Alhamdulillah, there were quite many number there. Marfu'at was the main one, yes. Now it's mansubat. That's also quite a few. And then after mansubat, inshallah, the third and the last part of the book is al-makhfudat. Those things that are makhfud majud, that's very small. So in fact, the next main thing we have now is this mansubat. Inshallah, next Tuesday is going to be difficult because of Eid and all these kind of things. Some will only maybe also having Eid on Saturday instead of Friday. Allahu A'lam what's going to be happening. So Tuesday is going to be very difficult, but the following Tuesday, inshallah, we will start with this. Okay. Okay. So if there's no question, anything like that, inshallah, we can stop here, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Inshallah, have a nice Eid, a wonderful Eid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our deeds and give us a tawfiq. Bi-idhnillahi jalla wa ala. No, I haven't had time to check that yet, the website. Sunnah, I think it's Sunnah one, yeah? Sunnah.com. Yeah. Haven't had time. Inshallah, in the next lesson, inshallah, after Eid, bi-idhnillah. Yep. Okay, barakallahu feekum, and inshallah, see you in a couple of weeks. Bi-idhnillah jalla wa ala, wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.